Good afternoon, everyone. F classes FYBSc first semester paper number second, that is animal ecology. In that animal ecology, last chapter, that is chapter number 5, animal interaction. In that animal interaction, next interaction we have studies antagonistic associations. Antagonism in ecology, an association between organisms in which one benefit and other is expense of the other. That means one is benefited and other is harmful or unbenefited. As life has evolved, natural selection has favored organisms that are able to efficiently extract energy and nutrients from their environment. Because organisms are concentrated package of energy and nutrients in themselves, they can become the objects of antagonistic interactions. Although organisms is commonly thought of as an association between different species, and it may also occur competition and cannibalism. The three major ways in which species feed on one another, first is parasitism, second is grazing, third one is predation. One by one we are going to study. The parasite live on the feed on and feed of its host, usually decreasing the host's ability to survive but not killing it outright. First, in case of parasitism, one one animal is live on next second animal. So this animal is called as host and the next one is called as parasite. Usually decreasing the host ability means ज्याच्यावर तो सर्वाइव्ह करतोय त्याची सर्वाइव्हॅबिलिटी किल सर्वाइव्हॅबिलिटी लॉस्ट होते डिक्रीज होते but not killing it outright. And in case of grazing species are not as closely tied to their food source as parasite and often vary their diet between two or more species without directly killing them, but predators however capture and kill the members of other species for the purpose of food. First is parasitism, and the parasitism is a relationship between two species of plants or animals in which one is benefit at the expense of other, sometimes without killing the host organism. And the organism which is benefited is called as parasite, and the organism at the expense of which parasite is benefited is called as host. The parasitism is mainly for the purpose of food, but parasite also get shelter and protection from the host. Generally, parasite prefers a host larger in size than itself, and the host is not killed usually, but a host may die due to secondary infection. The classification of parasitism, there are various types of parasitism. Our classification is based on their size, characteristics, interactions with their host, and on their life cycles. First is based on interaction with host. Those are the following type parasites: endoparasite, ectoparasite, epiparasite, and mesoparasite. Second one is based on their life cycle: obligate parasite and facultative parasite. Next category is social parasite. The social parasite do not directly feed on the tissue of their host like true parasites. Instead, they gain benefit from their host by convincing the host to provide food or other benefits. एक्झाम्पल पाहूयात आपण. वन ant species Tetramorium inquilinum is a parasite that spends its entire life on the back of the other species of ant, specially making the host species its slaves. This parasite species has gained benefits such as food and transportation. Food and transportation, but arised from one second. food and transportation. But from this extreme form of parasitism, the ants have evolved to be so weak that if they fall off their host, and they will not be able to crawl back on and die. Next one is blood parasite. Sorry, brood parasite. Brood parasitism involves the raising of young bird species that practice brood species that practice brood parasitism, including cowbirds and cuckoos, lay their eggs in another species' nest instead of building their own nest. This is a form of parasitism because the species who lay their egg in other nest gain while the other species are harmed. Next parasite interaction is Ascaris and man. This is the example of endoparasite. Ascaris is an intestinal parasite of humans. It is the most common human infection. The larvae and adult worms live in the small intestine and cause intestinal disease. Ascaris lives in the intestine, and Ascaris eggs are passed in the feces of infected persons. If the infected person defecates outside near bushes in a garden or field, or if the feces of an infected person are used as a fertilizer, then eggs are deposited on the soil, and they can then mature into a form that is infective. Ascariasis is caused by ingesting infective eggs. This can happen when hands or fingers that have contaminated dirt on them are put into the mouth, or by consuming vegetables or fruits that have not been carefully cooked, washed, or peeled. After ingestion, a lumbricoids reproduces inside the intestine, and the worms goes through the several stages. First is swallowed eggs first hatch in the intestine, then larvae move through the bloodstream to the lungs, and after maturing, the roundworms leave youngs and travel to the throat. And the roundworms are now swallowed or cough out. Those who swallowed go back to the intestine and lay more eggs. And this cycle continues. An infection of Ascaris in human intestine causes nausea, vomiting, irregular stool or diarrhea, intestinal blockage, which causes severe pain and vomiting, and the loss of appetite, visible worms on the stool, abdominal discomfort or pain, weight loss, growth impairment in children due to malabsorption. This is the diagram shown Ascaris as an endoparasite of human. Firstly, they live in the adult male intestine, then egg passed to the stool, then human ingests the infective eggs, it comes to the human body, and larvae released into the intestine and penetrate the intestinal wall. After that, it goes to the liver, alveoli of lungs, and migrate up to the trachea over epiglottis. This is the Ascaris as an endoparasite of human. To suit parasitic mode of Ascaris shows several parasitic adaptations in human host. These adaptations are they have ability of locomotion that helps them to counteract the peristaltic movement of the host intestine. It shows the power of locomotion help from getting displaced, and it remains in the intestine of the man. The food they ingest is pre-digested, and so there is no need for digestive gland, as they are located in the intestine where there is continuous supply of food material, and so there is alimentary tract is simple. Their muscular pharynx helps in ingestion of food. Next parasitic interaction is head lice and man. This is the example of ectoparasite. The head lice are tiny wingless parasitic insect that live in human hair. They are a common problem and highly contagious. They can also be hard to get rid of, and the eggs are known as nits. Adult head lice are about 1/8 of an inch long and they live up to days. Head lice can live around 2 days away from the host. Female head lice are larger than males and can lay around 8 eggs each day. Lice will appear darker if they occur in darker hair. The adaptations of pediculates for parasitic life is with their short legs and large claws, lice are well adapted for clinging to the hair of the host. These adaptations leave them incapable of jumping or even walking efficiently on flat surface. Lice can climb up strands of hair very quickly, allowing them to move quickly and reach another host. As the louse feed on its host, the human it must have some sort of transportation, just like any other insect. Pediculus humanus travels amongst its host by their 6 legs. They use these legs to get a specific location on the head, body, or pubic area to feed. This is all about the antagonistic relation. After that, remaining antagonistic relations discussed about next lecture. Thank you.